The human mind is a strange place, full of contradictions and unconscious forces that shape every decision we make. We like to believe we're in control, that we see reality as it truly is. But what if I told you that's not entirely true? Throughout history, psychologists have run experiments to uncover the hidden mechanics of our behavior. Some revealed our deep need to conform. Others proved how easily we can be manipulated. And some showed that even our own memories cannot be trusted. Tonight, we take a deep dive into 5 of the most shocking and revealing psychological experiments ever conducted. Prepare to question everything you thought you knew about yourself. Imagine you're sitting in a room. In front of you are 3 lines to are obviously the same length, while one is much shorter. You know the answer. It's obvious. But suddenly, everyone around you starts confidently saying the wrong answer. You begin to second-guess yourself. Could you be wrong? This is exactly what happened in Solomon Asch's 1951 study on conformity. He wanted to know, would people deny what they could clearly see with their own eyes just to fit in? The results: a staggering 75% of participants conformed at least once. They knew the answer was wrong, but the pressure of the group made them doubt their reality. Now think about this in today's world. Social media, politics, trends. How often do people ignore the truth just because it's easier to go along with the crowd? What happens when you give ordinary people unchecked power? In 1971, psychologist Philip Zimbardo sought to answer this question by creating a mock prison in the basement of Stanford University. Volunteers were randomly assigned as guards or prisoners, and within days, things spiraled into something disturbing. The guards became cruel. They humiliated the prisoners, forcing them into degrading tasks, punishing them for no reason. What's worse, they weren't told to act this way. Power itself transformed them. The experiment, originally planned for 2 weeks, had to be shut down after just 6 days. Zimbardo's study revealed something chilling. When given authority, ordinary people can become monsters. What if one of your strongest childhood memories never actually happened? You remember it vividly, where you were, what you were wearing, the emotions you felt. But what if I told you it was a lie? In the 1990s, psychologist Elizabeth Loftus conducted a study that revealed a deep flaw in human memory. She discovered that, under the right conditions, people could be implanted with completely false memories. Memories so detailed that they became indistinguishable from reality. Her study was simple, yet shocking. Participants were given stories about their childhood, including one completely fabricated event: getting lost in a shopping mall as a child. At first, they denied it, but after repeated suggestion and questioning, something eerie happened. They began to recall details of an event that had never occurred. A stranger's voice that helped them, the smell of popcorn from the food court, the exact moment their parents found them. The memory didn't just exist, it became real to them. Pause for a moment. How much of what you remember is truly your own? How many of your so-called memories have been quietly rewritten, stitched together from old photographs, family stories, or even scenes from movies that feel so real they might as well belong to you? This phenomenon, known as the misinformation effect, proves that memory is not a recording device. It's a story, and stories can be rewritten. This discovery changed everything: court cases, therapy practices, even the way we think about eyewitness testimony. Because if the mind is capable of creating memories that never existed, can we ever really trust what we remember? A train is speeding down the tracks. Ahead, 5 people are tied to the rails. But you have the power to pull a lever, diverting the train to another track where only one person is tied. Do you pull the lever, or do you let fate take its course? The trolley problem is one of psychology's most famous ethical dilemmas. It forces us to question, is it better to actively cause 1 death to save 5? Or is it worse to do nothing? It may seem like a simple thought experiment, But versions of this dilemma unfold every day. From life or death medical decisions to AI programming self-driving cars. The real question isn't which choice is right, but whether we can ever make a decision free from doubt. In the late 1960s, psychologist Walter Mischel devised an experiment that would become one of the most famous studies in psychology. The marshmallow test. His question was simple. Could a child resist instant gratification for a greater reward later? The experiment was deceptively straightforward. A child was placed in a small room and given a single marshmallow. The researcher told them they could eat it now or wait 15 minutes and receive more marshmallows instead. Then, the researcher left the room. At first, some kids stared at the marshmallow, debating with themselves. Some covered their eyes, turned away, or tapped their fingers on the table, trying to distract themselves. Others gave in within seconds, popping the marshmallow into their mouths, unable to resist. Years later, Mischel followed up on these children. The results? The ones who waited longer for the second marshmallow tended to have higher academic achievement, better self-control, and even healthier relationships as adults. Those who couldn't wait, they struggled more with impulse control, decision-making, and long-term planning. The ability to delay gratification, to endure short-term discomfort for long-term reward, was a stronger predictor of success than IQ, social class, or almost any other measurable factor. This test reflects a fundamental struggle in human nature, our battle between instant gratification and long-term success. The difference between thriving and struggling often comes down to this: how well we can resist the pull of what feels good now in exchange for something greater later. But here's the good news: self-control isn't fixed. It's a muscle that can be trained. The same children who failed the marshmallow test weren't doomed to a life of impulsiveness. With time, discipline, and practice, anyone can build willpower. We like to believe we are in control, that our decisions are our own, that our memories are accurate, and that we see the world exactly as it is. But the truth is, psychology has proven time and time again that we are far more predictable, malleable, and flawed than we care to admit. We conform even when we know the truth. We obey even when it feels wrong. We misremember even when we're certain. We hesitate at moral crossroads, questioning what is right. And when faced with temptation, we often choose the path of least resistance, even at our own expense. So the question remains: how much of your mind is truly yours? How many of your choices are free will? And how many are pre-programmed reactions to forces you don't even notice? Are you the author of your own story? Or are you just following a script that was written for you? Think about that the next time you make a choice, the next time you remember something, the next time you tell yourself you're in control. Because in the end, the mind is the greatest illusion of all. Let me know in the comment which experiment shocked you the most and why. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you want to keep exploring the mysteries of the human mind, make sure to hit subscribe and turn on notifications. There's so much more to uncover. And trust me, we've only scratched the surface.